So welcome to CS 183B. I'm Sam Altman. I'm the president of Y Combinator. 9 years ago, I was a Stanford student, and then I dropped out to start a company, and then I've been an investor for the last few. So at YC, we've been teaching people how to start startups for 9 years. Most of it's very hands-on and specific to the startups, but 30% of it is pretty generally applicable. And so we think that we can teach that 30% in this class. And even though that's only 30% of the way there, hopefully it'll still be really helpful. So for the second half of today's lecture, Dustin Moskovitz, the co-founder of Facebook and Asana, is going to take over and talk about why to start a startup. We were so surprised by the amount of attention that this class got that we wanted to make sure we spend a lot of time on the why. So I'm going to pause here. I'll pick back up with the rest of this on Thursday. And now we're going to have Dustin talk about why you should start a startup. Thank you for coming, Dustin.
Sure. But yeah, so Sam asked me to talk about why you should start a startup. There's a bunch of reasons you might have. There's a bunch of common reasons that people have that I hear all the time for why you might start a startup. It's important to know what reason is yours, because some of them only make sense in certain contexts. Some of them will actually lead you astray. You may have been misled by the way that Hollywood or the press likes to romanticize entrepreneurship. So I want to try and illuminate some of those potential fallacies so you guys can make the decision in a clear way. So this is the big one. So this is the one I hear the most, especially candidates applying to Asana. They tell me, I'd really like to work for a much smaller company or start my own, because then I have a much bigger slice of the pie. I'll have much more impact on how that company does, and I'll have more equity, so I'll make more money as well. These are two theoretical companies you might start. So Uber for pet sitting, pretty good idea. If you're really well suited to this, you might have a really good shot at building a $100 million company. And then your share of that company is pretty likely to be about 10%. This certainly fluctuates. Some founders have a lot more than this, some have a lot less. But after multiple rounds of dilution, multiple rounds of option pool creation, you're pretty likely to end up about here. If you have more than this, I'd recommend Sam's post on the equity split between founders and employees. You probably should be giving out more. So basically, if you're extremely confident about building this $100 million business, which is a big ask, it should go without saying that you should have a lot more confidence in Facebook in 2009 or Dropbox in 2014 than you might for a startup that doesn't even exist yet. Then this is worth doing. So if you have a $100 million idea and you're pretty confident you can execute it, I would consider that. If you think you're the right entrepreneur to build Uber for space travel, that's a really huge idea, $2 billion idea. You're actually going to have a pretty good return for that. You should definitely do that. This is also only the value after 4 years, and this idea probably has legs. So definitely go after that. If you're thinking of building that, you probably shouldn't even be in this class right now. You should just go and build that company.